Nice little sneak peek there on our intro. And yeah, hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. In today's episode, we're going to be doing two main things. So the first one is obviously building this little port area where our cruise ships are going to come in. And we're also going to build a historical town. And this historical town, it's going to be where there's that monument that's right on the tip there. And there's going to be historical walls, historical areas. And it's going to be an interesting little area for something else that is going to come on this whole big peninsula area. So we're just doing a very simple little passenger cruise ship terminal area. And we are going to do, of course, a big like cargo port area, but not on this spot because I want this area to really just focus on the passengers. And one thing I should point out is that I know the water is not very deep in this area. So that's one thing that I didn't really want to change because any little change to the water, whether it's above ground, below ground, anything that's interacting with the water, it's going to cause a tsunami. And since we are so close to the city right there, I was afraid to really change it and make it deeper because then there's going to be a big flood and buildings are going to get demolished and it's just going to be really chaotic and I didn't want to have to go through that. So yes, we're not dealing with that. So we're keeping it very simple, and I actually like the idea of just a very simple little bit that just pokes out from the original wavy and wonky landscape and a really structured part that just sticks out, and I think it looks really good. Now I end up putting in two terminals, so there's this one on this side, but then I also put one on the other side because for some reason this one here actually doesn't work. I really don't know why. It never worked at all, even though when I put it down it was actually still connected to the overall the cruise ship line. So I don't know why. So I end up putting one on the other side and it works properly. So if you see they're only using the other one, that's why. Also, you'll notice there's some other random cruise ships coming in. I do have to unsubscribe from those because they're really small and they don't look that good. So ignore the weird little random cruise ships that come in. Now we're also going to be doing a tram that comes into this area, which is going to be basically mainly for the cruise ship passengers. Now you can see I'm putting in some kind of tunnel type thing here. And what the plan is, since when you have to do a tram, the annoying thing about trams is that they need somewhere to turn around. So I wish trams were more like trains where they would go up and then they just stop and then they go back. But with trams, you have to find an area for them to turn around. And since we don't have much space in this area, I really wanted to disguise the area where they turn around. So the tram will come along here and then it'll go into the tunnel and then it'll actually turn around inside the ferry terminal. So right here, I'm just drawing out the loop where they'll turn around. And then pretty much all I do is I highlight all of the nodes and then I drag it into the desired area, which is going to be inside the terminal. And then that way, you know, it makes it look so much better like this. I think it's a really great idea. And yeah, a little bit wonky there, but it actually turns out really good. And I end up putting in a tram station right there behind the future big buildings that are going to be there. So it's a really good use of space. And the tunnel actually makes it look really good. I know that it's overlapping, but that's why I put the tunnel there, because it actually hides all of the yucky bits that we don't really want to see and all the bits that don't look realistic. Probably in the next episode, I'm going to focus more on the inlet area of this little peninsula area. So on the inside there's going to be more like fishing areas. There's going to be little areas like docks. There's going to be other little areas where they can put their boats. And so I'm not going to put any docks on this side in this build today, because I thought since it's on like the open ocean area, it's going to be more wavy. So it's probably smarter to put all of the docks and things on the other side where the water is really calm. And also this road that I'm using here, it's actually kind of different, which is what I love about it, because I love doing things that are slightly different. So I don't know if I show it, maybe at the end of this video. The cars actually park in the middle of the road. So usually in City Skylines, the cars for some reason just park on the outside, but with that one, the cars are actually on the inside, and then the tram line is on the outside. So it's a little bit so it's a little bit opposite, but that's what I really like about it. So we're going to put in a few commercial areas. I think those are technically residential buildings, but I made sure that there's no noise pollution over here, so they shouldn't really complain. We also end up putting in some car parks and also some other smaller commercial areas. And it actually turns out really, really good. And this road right here, it's a small road. I chose that road in particular because, like I said, it is small, but also because they cannot park on it. And the reason why I don't want them to park on that road is because I want all of the cars to be only in the desired selected area, which you guys will see right here. So there's only going to be parking in the middle. And I know that someone's going to be like, well, where are they also supposed to park? Well, that's their problem, really. So that's part of the reason why we have the tram coming in, so they can catch the tram from wherever they live, come in, and the idea isn't for them to come in and park their car. So this is more for, like, I don't know, day visitors or something like that. And the real idea of this area is that the historical area was there first, and then this little area for the cruise ship was an extra addition to the area. So they're really restrained for space. And I think putting in a big car parking lot is not the most ideal use of space. By this point, I had put down a few little roads just to kind of design this historical area. So the main focus is this temple right here. I know it's a little bit different from the other ones in the city, but I wanted to do something that's a little bit different just from the rest of the city, because this is one of the older areas in the city. So maybe there was an older, different influence back then compared to the rest of the city. I don't know. I just wanted something different. You can see there was a random little cruise ship coming in. So this area, it is going to be a fully functioning area, but one thing I do want to point out that's, one thing I do want to point out, which is in relation to the whole city, is I actually went through and I updated every single one of these buildings that I use. All of these Maltese buildings have a very, very low, like for example, the shops, they only have like 1 or 2 workers, and the residential areas, they only have like 1 or 2 families living in there. So I went through and I actually updated everything. So there's going to be a huge influx of jobs available in the next episode. There's also going to be a huge increase of the population. So it actually jumps up from about 50,000 where we are now. Next episode, it's actually up at about 70,000 because there's so many more available residential areas. Like I said, there's going to be this historical wall that goes around it, but the wall isn't going to be fully intact. I left parts out because I wanted it to look like part of it has fallen over, or part of it's been, other buildings have been built over it. So I think having a full big wall around it wouldn't look that good anyway, just because it doesn't really suit, this area doesn't really suit the times. So some areas there's a wall, some areas there isn't, and I really like the fact that it's like that. also adding in a few little historical lookout points. I think originally they would have been a lot higher, but as time goes on, maybe they were destroyed or they just fell over with time. I don't know, but I think it looks really good how I think it actually looked really good how it's all turned out. Also, this isn't going to be the only actual little town for this area. In the next episode, I'm actually going to extend this area, but we're going to do something a little bit different, something that I've only slightly done, but it hasn't been a main focus of a video yet. So let me know what you think that could be in the next episode. It's going to be something really different, something that I'm actually looking forward to, but it is going to be a little bit tedious, but that's all right. I don't mind because I know it's going to look really cool. So we're coming towards the end of the speed build, and the population for this area ends up being about 2,000 people. And you'll notice there's a lot of people waiting at the tram station. That's just because the trams, I'd only just put them in, so naturally, of course, there's going to be a huge influx for the first few, what do you want to call it, like days or whatever. So eventually it did go down a little bit. So, but yeah, as you'll see in this video, there's a lot of people, but it really, trust me, it calms down. You guys will see in the next episode as well, because we'll focus on the surrounding areas. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I actually really like this area. It really suits in with the whole city, and even the vanilla cruise ship terminal fits in very well. Fits in very well. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll give you guys a nice good look at everything right now.